Hello everyone, welcome back. Another day and another video and another new plant. This is the Miltoniopsis, the pansy orchid, and let me show you the name of this variety. It is Miltoniopsis, Laurie, Kathleen, Karen. AM/AOS. That's the award that it got for such a beautiful flower. Well, to start with, I got one Miltoniopsis last year. It was a seedling, not tiny seedling. It's a mature seedling, and I put it in my home. I live in Dallas, Texas, and you know the temperatures in Dallas and Texas. It's very hot, even in the home for the plant, and it didn't survive. It I did a lot of things, but nothing worked last year. So I made two changes for the plan of growing Miltoniopsis back then. Firstly, I'm not going to buy any seedlings in my lifetime. But if it is a Miltoniopsis orchid, I would definitely buy an established plant which has at least two or three large pseudobulbs. This has three large pseudobulbs. It has four, in fact. There is another one here. There are two here and two here, which has at least 3 to 4 large pseudobulbs. That is decision number one. That is the change I made to my plan. And number two, I'm not going to put them in my house. Where I would grow them, I would update you later. And I'm getting positive results, by the way, and I'll update you in a separate video where I'm growing my Miltoniopsis. I have 3 Miltoniopsis, by the way, and I would put all 3 Miltoniopsis side by side. Maybe within a month I would take another video, and maybe after a month I would have more details on the pros and cons of growing Miltoniopsis in that way, and I can put you a new video. I'm sorry for that, I cannot reveal it now. Okay, back to the point. I bought this in spike. Purchased this. This is an eBay purchase, and I bought an in spike plant. That is another mistake I did. Never ever buy an in spike or bud Miltoniopsis. The reason is these plants hate the temperature or climate changes, the drastic climate changes. They doesn't tolerate dry weather. So if you buy a plant in bud or spike, and during as you know, it has to either come in a hot weather or a cold weather, so there will be a drastic change in temperature and drastic downfall of the humidity. So the result is the plant will go through bud blast. Yes, Miltoniopsis are notorious orchids and in terms of bud blast. So you can see here there is one big spike. It has four. This spike has 4 buds. It I received this plant with this spike, with a spike and 4 buds. Within 3 days, all the buds dried off and it blasted off. Luckily, there is another spike that is developing, and by the way, the relocation not only resulted in a bud blast for this spike, it impacted the second spike as well. This spike is very tiny. When I got this, but there are only 2 buds on this spike. You see, there are 4 buds in the previous spike and there are only 2 buds, which means the 2 other buds did not develop on this spike, on the second spike, because of the relocation and stress and drastic changes in temperature and humidity for this plant. So beware, never buy a seedling Miltoniopsis if you don't have right conditions and if you want to grow it inside a home, and never buy a Miltoniopsis in bud or spike, because because it would be a double loss. The plants in bud and spike would be costly. You're going to shell extra bucks, maybe $10 or $20 more than the regular plant. And the second part is the buds won't last. So there's no point. No, there's no point going for a plant that is in bud or spike, especially when it comes to Miltoniopsis. And always buy a Miltoniopsis which is well established and which has at least 4 mature pseudobulbs, and which has already bloomed maybe the last year, or which has already bloomed twice. So the established plants are more flexible in terms of adapting to new conditions because they have a lot of reserves in the pseudobulbs. Okay, these are the 3 points. Keep in mind, my friends. And let me take you a very close look of the flower. Such a beautiful flower. You can see here it has fragrance as well. I got this plant and I immediately repotted into 100% sphagnum moss, and not 100% sphagnum moss. This is a mixture of sphagnum moss and charcoal. I added charcoal just to make sure the roots, there is no bacteria growth underneath, and I put it. I placed this plant in 100% ceramic pot, 100% ceramic pot for good ventilation, and I'm making sure this plant gets is always the medium is always wet. I'm not allowing the medium to dry, and because Miltoniopsis hate to dry out. If you dry the plant, it is a huge setback for the plant. Okay, if you put it in dry weather, it doesn't be happy. If you allow the medium to dry out, it will feel really sad. So make sure you follow these very fundamental things for this plant. And here you go, Miltoniopsis, Laurie, Kathleen, Karen. Only 2 flowers. Maybe uh, if it do well under my care, it should get 2 more spikes next spring, next year. Okay guys, thank you very much. This is a bit long video. I have to speak a lot about a lot of things here. I'll try to keep the future videos less than 5 minutes. Thank you very much and have a nice day.